Assalamualaikum students, hope you all are doing well. My today's topic is permanent maxillary central incisor, right? As the name is indicating, permanent means the tooth which will erupt after the shedding of primary tooth or deciduous tooth is permanent maxillary. Maxillary means that is relating to the maxilla, right? That is the upper jaw. And central incisors are the incisors that are present at the front near the midline, right? Here we have the learning objectives. Chronology means the order of its development up to the eruption, right? Then we have the tooth notation, that is the tooth numbering system. Then we will discuss the lobes, the pulp horn, pulp canals, and dimensions. Then we will discuss about the aspects of this tooth and then the proximal contact areas, right? So here we have the chronology means the order of its development. Basically, its calcification will begins at the age of 3 to 4 months of age. Means when the child is of 3 to 4 months of age, the calcification will begin at this age of this tooth. Which tooth? The permanent maxillary central incisor, right? Then its enamel formation will be completed at the age of 4 to 5 years of age, right? Means before eruption, its enamel will be completely formed. Then its eruption is from the age of 7 to 8 years of age, approximately when the child is of 7 to 8 years of age. It, there would be maxillary central incisor present in his or her mouth, right? So, root completion will take place after the eruption at the age of 10 years, right? Root completion would be after its eruption. So, first we have the calcification that would be at the age of 3 to 4 months, then enamel completion at 4 to 5 years of age. Then after the completion of enamel, the tooth erupts in the oral cavity, and then after its eruption, up till the age of 10 years, the root will be completely formed, right? Then we have tooth rotation system, that is the tooth numbering system, as we have discussed it earlier about the universal system, FDI system, and Palmer intuition system. So just for brief review, universal system will be starting from the maxillary right side, right? That is the third molar, maxillary third molar, moving to second, first, then second premolar, then first premolar, then canine, then lateral incisor, then central incisor. So if we start counting from the maxillary third molar, it would be 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 would be the maxillary central incisor. Then moving to the ninth one, that is the left maxillary central incisor, right? As you can see in this picture, right? If we start counting from the back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this one is the eighth one, that is the maxillary right central incisor. Then this is the maxillary left central incisor, right? If we draw a line from this midline, then this is the right, this is the left. So this is the 8, number 8 in universal system. This is the number 9 in universal system, right? So right we have number 8, and for left we have number 9. Then if we discuss about the FDI system, so it is basically the 2-digit number system, right? The maxilla of the right side was numbered as 1, then maxilla of the left side was numbered as 2, then mandible ka left side 3, then mandible ka right side number 4 tha, right? If you can recall it from the previous lecture. So for right, let me draw it for you. Okay. It's a bit rough sort of diagram, but for your understanding, I'm just drawing it. Okay. This is the first quadrant. This is the second quadrant. Right. This is the third quadrant, and this is the fourth quadrant, right? So in this way we have numbered, this is the maxillary right, maxillary left, mandibular left, mandibular right. This is the right side, right? This is the left side. So for the right side, we have mentioned 1 as it's there 1, right? This digit is indicating the right side, that is the maxillary right? Same as it is, this 2 is indicating the second quadrant, 2, maxilla of maxilla, right? Because we are discussing the maxillary central incisors, right? So for right we have 1, for left we have 2. As we have discussed it earlier, that tooth numbering will be start from the central line up to the third molar. So we will number it as 1, then 2, 3, 4, and so on up to the 8, right? Same as it is for the left side, right? It would be like from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So as central incisor is present over there near the midline, just adjacent to the midline, so we will be terming as 1, 1 and 2, 1. 2 is the quadrant number and 1 is the tooth number, right? So for Palmer notation system, if you can see in this diagram, that here we have the 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the universal. It is FDI system 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the first quadrant. Here we have the second quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 1 and 2, 1, right? So moving to Palmer notation system, as we have discussed this as well before, that we would indicate the Palmer notation system by the quadrants, by drawing the quadrants. As we know, we have 4 quadrants, right? This is the right side and this is the left side. So if we want to indicate the right maxillary central incisor, we will draw it like this. For maxilla, we will drawing it like this. But if we want to draw for the mandible, we would be drawing it like this, right mandible, right? But as we are discussing here the maxillary tooth, so we would be drawing it like this, right? And then for central incisor, we have 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up till 8, right? And for left side, in Palmer notation, in maxilla, we will draw it like this, right? This is showing the quadrant of the left side. Indicate 1 is indicating the central incisor. In this way, we will number them. Okay. So now let's discuss the number of lobes. Lobes we have already discussed. These are the primary parts. These are the primary parts of the tooth. Okay. So we have 4 lobes in maxillary central incisors. Pulp horns. As we have discussed earlier, that the portion of the pulp that is in the root part is called as pulp canal, and the portion of the root pulp that is present in the crown portion will be called as pulp cavity, right? And these are the elevations which are formed by the pulp in the crown portion will be called as pulp horns. These are the pulp horns. So we have 3 pulp horns that can be seen from the labial aspect. Labial aspect is that aspect which is towards the lips. So from labial aspects, we have 3. So we have total 3 pulp horns. We have in total 4 lobes, right? And 1 pulp canal is present. As you know, it is a single rooted tooth. So we have 1 root, 1 canal, 1 pulp canal. Okay. Dimensions. Dimensions of the crown and the root. These are basically the measurements of the crown and the root. Mostly teachers ask about the dimensions of maxillary canines most of the time. The canine dimensions were asked, but अगर ये पूछ लें तो आप लोगों को पता होना चाहिए. सो इसलिए अगर हम यहाँ से रूट के एपिक्स से स्टार्ट करें, if we start from the apex of the tooth leading to the cervical line, right? That is the cementoenamel junction. That is the junction between the cementum and the enamel, right? Cementum and enamel. Cementum is covering the root and enamel is covering the crown portion. We have discussed it, right? So from the apex up till the cervical line, its measurement is 13 mm, right? millimeter. Its total length is 13 millimeter. And if we talk about the crown, from the cervical line up till the incisal edge, right? This is the edge. Here we have the edge, right? So it would be 10.5 mm. So from the cervical line up till the incisal edge, it would be 13 mm. Okay, from the cervical line up till the incisal, so it would be 10.5 mm. Okay, so we have different aspects of the tooth, right? So as you can see here, this is the labial aspect. Labial is that aspect which is towards the lips. We have discussed it a lot more times, but still for revision, I'm just recalling it. This is the lingual surface, right, which is towards the tongue. Here we have the mesial and distal surfaces. Here we have the mesial and distal surfaces. This is the this is collectively termed as proximal surface, right? Proximal surface. This is the incisal surface that will come in occlusion to the opposite jaw, right? So let's discuss it one by one. Labial aspect. As you can see, this is the labial aspect of crown shown in this picture, right? In general, we call it as facial surface, but for specification of anteriors and posteriors, we will be calling it as the labial surface, right? As you can see in this picture, root is cone-shaped with a blunt apex. This is not a pointed apex. Here is a blunt apex, right? Root outline mesially and distally is almost regular, right? Mesio-incisal angle, if you talk about the mesio-incisal angle, so the mesio-incisal angle is a bit sharper than the disto-incisal angle. Disto-incisal angle is more rounded, right? We have sharp mesio-incisal angle and rounded disto-incisal angle, right? Okay. Then moving to the lingual aspect. This aspect is towards the tongue. That is towards the tongue, right? So below the cervical line, as smooth convexity is found, this is called as the cingulum. We have discussed it earlier that cingulum is a rounded elevation found on the lingual surface just below the cervical line, right? Then we have the marginal ridges, as we have discussed it already, that marginal ridges are present on the lingual surface of anterior teeth, right? Then between the marginal ridges below the cingulum, between the marginal ridges, these are the marginal ridges below the cingulum here, right, over there, right? A shallow concavity is present, which is called as the lingual fossa, right? Lingual fossa is a sort of concavity depression between the marginal ridges and below the cingulum. If we outline the lingual fossa, the linguoincisal edge is raised. This is the linguoincisal edge. Linguoincisal edge is a bit raised, right? Somewhat on a level with the marginal ridges and completing the lingual portion of incisal edge of the central incisor, right? So there are usually developmental grooves present extending from the cingulum into the lingual fossa, right? Here we have some developmental grooves present. So moving to the mesial aspect of the tooth. Crown is wedge-shaped or triangular, right? Crown is wedge-shaped means it is somewhat triangular in shape, right? Base is towards the apex, base is towards the cervix, right? And apex is at the incisal edge. Let me draw it, right? Let me show it. How is it calling as wedge shape, right? Okay. This is the base, right? That is towards the cervical line. Then we have towards the apex. Oh no. Sorry for this. But just for you can say clearing the concept or making it visualize. I'm just drawing it. Let me try it over there. Right, this is the base of the triangle. Where we are. Oh no. Okay, it's we draw it again. So now it's a bit perfect. So this is the bed shape actually, right? A triangular shape. Base is towards the cervical line and edge is towards the apex of the tooth. Okay. So this is the mesial aspect of the tooth, right? Okay, let's move to the distal aspect as well. The alignment of incisal edge of crown with its center of the root is characteristic of maxillary central incisor. This is the point you have to keep in mind, that there is an alignment, right? Alignment at between the apex of the tooth and the apex of the crown. This is the incisal edge of the crown, right? Means the apex of the root and the incisal edge of the crown is in the same line in one line. If we bisect it from the apex of the root up to the incisor edge, it would be like in line, right? In a straight line. This is the characteristic feature of maxillary central incisor, right? And if we see here, labio, this is the labial surface, right? Here we have the lingual surface. So labiolingual measurement is greatest, right? Labiolingual measurement is greatest. This is the labial outline. This is the lingual outline. Right? If you notice in the lingual outline, at the cingulum, this is the cingulum. Here is a concavity present. Here is a concavity present just below the cingulum. If you can see here, right? At the cingulum, we have convexity present. Just below the cingulum, we have concavity, right? Then we have again slight convex, right? The linguoincisal bridge and the incisal edge right here. Just slight convexity again. Means convex, concave, then convex, right? The cervical line outlining the cemento-enamel junction. This is the cervical line. It is outlining the cemento-enamel junction, that is the junction between the cementum and enamel on the mesial aspect. On the maxillary central incisors, this depression is markedly noticeable and it is of highest degree than the rest of the tooth, right? So this is the highest degree curvature shown in mesial aspect of the maxillary central incisor. This cervical curvature is a greater on the mesial surface of this tooth than on any surface of any other tooth in the mouth, right? So this is specifically कह सकते हैं करेक्टरिस्टिक है मीजियल एस्पेक्ट का ऑफ मैक्सिलरी सेंट्रल इंसाइजर दैट के इसकी सर्वाइकल जो लाइन है उसका कर्वेचर हाईएस्ट डिग्री पे डीपिंग की तरफ है टुवर्ड्स द इंसाइजल एज है, राइट? सो moving to the distal aspect, somewhat thicker towards the incisal third. This is the incisal third. It is thicker than the mesial aspect of the incisal third, right? It has less curvature. Here you can see, as compared to the mesial aspect, it has less curvature, right? Then we have the incisal surface. Here you can see a prominent cingulum is seen. Here we have the lingual fossa. Here we have the marginal ridges. You can easily appreciate all of these structures, right? Here we have the incisor edge. So in this picture, you can see this is the cervical line, CL for cervical line, C for the cingulum. Then we have the mesial marginal ridge. Then we have the distal marginal ridge. Then we have the lingual fossa. Then we have the linguoincisal edge, right? This is the linguoincisal edge. Here we have the linguoincisal edge. Here we have the linguoincisal edge, two edges, right? Then the distal marginal ridge, lingual fossa, cingulum, mesial marginal ridge, right? So proximal contact areas. Crest is towards the mesio-incisal angle in mesial contact area. This is the mesial surface, right? So crest is towards the mesio-incisal angle, as you can see, as you can appreciate over there. Is here we have the a bit curvature, that is the mesial contact area near the mesio-incisal angle, right? And for the distal surface, distal contact area, crest of curvature is higher towards the cervical line. Crest of curvature is a bit higher, that is towards the cervical line. Means we have two proximal contact areas. Contact areas are those areas which are touching the neighboring tooth. So we have mesial contact area near the mesio-incisal angle and the distal contact area near the cervical line, a bit upward towards the cervical line, right? So here we have some characteristics of permanent maxillary central incisors, right? So the first thing that you have to keep in mind is that it is the widest anterior tooth among all anterior tooth. Maxillary central incisor is widest. Mesio-distally means from the mesial up to the distal surface, it is the widest tooth, right, in dimension. Labial face is less convex than that of the maxillary lateral incisors or canines. Labial face, this face, right, it is normally less convex, moreover flat, right? Third thing is that it is most of the time square or rectangular in shape, right? The crown from the labial surface is mostly square or rectangular in appearance, right? Nearly straight incisal edge. The incisal edge is nearly straight, right? Then cervical line is with even curvature towards the root. Towards the root is the curvature show करेगा और almost nearly semicircular होता है, right? Then we have mesial side and then the distal side, right? Straight outlines, right? Mesial side is straight outline and distal is more curved. As you can appreciate over there, there is more concavities than there, right? There is more smooth or straight sort of surface, right? So in newly erupted tooth, mamelons will be seen in the incisors, right? As you can see, we have, this is the picture showing the mandibular incisors, but same is the case with the maxillary, but there is maybe due to any trauma, here we have the loss of two structures, right? So just for understanding, just look at over the mandibular incisors. Here we have the mamelons, right? These are the rounded elevations are called the mamelons. These are the characteristic feature of maxillary incisors, maxillary central incisors or mandibular central incisors and lateral incisors as well. But these rounded elevations will, after the abrupt actions, attritions, aberrations, will get smooth and straight just like this, right? So when the tooth newly erupts now, so it will be showing these rounded elevations that are termed as mamelons. It is the characteristic feature of the anterior incisors, right? But after some time, due to aberrations, attritions, it will get straighter like this, right? So there are some anomalies that there are some anomalies that are concerned with the incisors as well, right? These are shovel shaped incisors, right? Here we have some shovel shaped incisors in which there is concavities present, right, on the lingual surface. We have in normal lingual fossa, but there is a marked concavity present, right? These are termed as shovel shaped incisors, right? Here we have the shovel shaped incisors. These are the normal non-shovel shaped incisors of the upper central incisors, right? These are the lingual surfaces shown, right? Thank you so much for watching. If you like my video, then give it a big thumbs up and keep sharing my videos with your friends. Thank you so much for watching.